Hello everyone and welcome back to Mr. and Mrs. Social Studies. My name is Sarah and today we're talking all about daily agenda slides, why you should use them, how to set them up, and showing some different examples to help you in the process. This video is part of our Back to School New Teacher series, and we put together a free guide or new teacher checklist to help you, especially if this is your first year of teaching or you're fairly new to the profession, maybe new school, new grade level. That free resource is linked below to help you have a very smooth back to school season. That being said, let's jump right on into daily agenda slides. And I think the very first thing to address is why would I use daily agenda slides or digital slides rather than putting the agenda on my board in my classroom? Of course, many may have already shifted to digital agenda slides last year or previously with remote teaching, but they can be valuable no matter how you're teaching. For me, I originally did not use digital agenda slides, and instead, where did I put the agenda for the day? I hand wrote it on the whiteboard for each of my classes every morning. You know, I'm not a morning person, but got to school, took like 5 minutes to write things down. And the ironic thing is that I usually had to have it written or typed out somewhere else anyway, because I wanted to make sure I remembered what was going on. Sometimes I would even look back at my notes so I knew what to write for the day, especially at that first school I had 4 grade levels, so sometimes it was tough to keep track of things. And I would write it on the whiteboard every day, and it was in a spot where I'm sure some students could see it very well, but others probably not so much. You know, depending on how the whiteboard is arranged in the classroom, it could be kind of far away for others to see. And also, I couldn't take up the whole board writing the agenda, so it was sort of like this one section. And at the end of the day, it had to be erased, and I had to rewrite it all over again for the next day. And with that, time is so precious as teachers that we really don't want to waste it. And so that's where daily agenda slides can be very helpful because number one, you can write down the agenda whenever. So you could actually use it while you're planning your lessons for the next week. Type out the weekly overview and what you need for the week just to batch it and get it out of the way. You can also refer back to old agenda slides. If you wonder, what did I do last unit or last year? You've got a written record that's so organized, it even has the date that you taught something on there. And you can see it all in one easy to access spot. It's also easier for your students to see because you can project it on your smartboard or projector, and students will have a much easier time seeing it, and even better, you can even post it on Google Classroom so students can access it if they were absent. You can't do that with whatever you wrote on the whiteboard. So there's so many reasons, but I highly encourage you to make the switch if you have not yet done so. Once you've decided that you're excited to use daily agenda slides, you might be wondering, how do I actually set this up? So I want to show my exact workflow here. Now, as I show this, I'm going to share my back to school agenda slide templates, but if you don't like these, you can of course create your own, or we have templates that are plant specific, movie themed, coffee shop themed, travel themed. We have a US history themed agenda template, and we also have individual templates for each ancient civilization unit. So early humans, Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, China, Greece, Rome. So I'll have all of those templates linked below. If you think you want to give this a try and you like the look of the ones I'll be walking you through today, you'll definitely want to download them and check them out. Once again, links below. All right, I am currently in this file, and you can see I put together a sample here. I wanted you to see the finished product before I actually show you how I set things up. Now this is just one template. Obviously there's a lot of different templates here that you can choose from that all have different designs and numbers of boxes, which makes it really flexible for what you want to do. And everything is easy. You just type in any of these text boxes, and if you don't like the headings, you can change them. So you can edit all the text here. So with this, just as an example, this is a random day, but I wanted to show you how you can visualize this. So I typed in the day. In this example, I picked October 7th, but I typed in Thursday, October 7th at the top. And ancient civilization students would often be learning about Mesopotamia in October, in early October. So we've got a Mesopotamia vocab practice activity on Google Classroom. There's a Mesopotamia station activity, and there's work time on that. I specified they'd be spending about 30 minutes with work time. There's a goal for them about how much they should get done, and a few details. So that's what the agenda is. And then in this second box, I chose to use it as an example for reminders. So if there's an early release, you can, note that, or any other days off, or maybe there's an assembly or any other school event. And then you can also give upcoming reminders about homework, or if there's a test or quiz coming up here. And with that, you can just see, again, you've got flexibility in how you set this up. And there's weekly overview sections as well as individual things. So maybe you want to use it for your agenda and your bell ringer, or you use this spot for something else by adjusting the text. So I've got a bunch of my templates here. This is not all of them that are included. I just picked some. But I'm going to go through, and I recommend having 2 different agenda slide templates. You've got your official template that you're going to get when you download any of our resources, and then you're going to have each month or quarter's agenda slides. So with that, in my Google Drive, I actually created a folder just called Daily Agenda Files, and that's where I'm going to keep my agenda files for each month that I use each day. So I'm going to just click New Slideshow, and I'm just going to X out of this, and I'm going to just delete these 2. You can also just make a copy of the existing file and edit what you need, but I think this is going to be the quickest, at least while I show it to you on video. So I'm going to title this presentation August and September 2021 Agenda Slides. I think it helps monthly basis to do these, because if you are posting these on Google Classroom, there's not as much that a student has to look through. So I've got that named. Now I'm going to go back to my file, and I'm going to copy the slides that I want into the new presentation. So I want a weekly overview. Like I said, there are more templates available, but I just picked a couple. So I like this weekly overview slide, and I'm just going to hold down the Shift key while I click on the slides I want to bring over. You can always edit this. I'm going to do the one with the pen. And you're actually going to hold down on the Command key while you click on the slides that you want, and we're going to copy and paste them over. You could do this one at a time, or like I said, multiple slides, hold down the Command key. So I want this first one. I also am going to do this blue one here. I like that one too. I'm going to do this one. And again, you may decide that you want to just use all of them regularly, or keep it flexible. Some days you might have different focus. All right, I just picked a couple here to start. And I'll also do that one so I can show the blank template option. All right, and then I'm clicking on the file. I'm going to paste them in, and you can see that they load up. I'm going to say do not link, and I'm going to delete that extra slide. So now these are in my file for the August and September agenda slides. So if I'm starting out the week of August 30th to September, I believe it's 3rd. Let me consult my calendar. Yep, September 3rd. Perfect. Okay. So I've got the week, the dates there. This might be helpful to fill out when you are lesson planning and just kind of see this overview big picture. And this is helpful for students to get a sense of what's happening that week, especially if they are referring to this on their own, if you posted it on Classroom. Then I would get into the daily plans. Now, like I said before, you may mix these up, or you may find that there's a couple that you love using and you want to use them regularly. So for example, this one I really like. It's got the agenda spot here and then a spot for a quick bell ringer activity or prompt for the students, as well as reminders. but maybe you like a different arrangement, or maybe you don't need all that. Maybe you just need a couple boxes or even one. Maybe you aren't worried about putting a ballerina up here or anything else like that. So it's so flexible, but essentially you'd go through and outline things. So for instance, maybe I want this one to be, maybe I don't have a ballerina the first day actually, maybe I just do a general agenda to start. So I could type out Monday, August 30th, oops, not 39th, not a date. And then I could decide maybe to use this template on the Tuesday. So typing out the dates. Maybe I want to do this one on Wednesday. That would be September 1st. So again, you kind of just do this as you wish. And like I said, maybe you do want more consistency, but you could then copy and paste these things. Or let's say you didn't like any of these headings, you could switch them all out into different things. It's all flexible. You can move things around. You can change fonts. It's completely customizable. The other thing I'll show is that I do have a blank slide template. In this back to school set, there's only this one chalkboard background, but in all the other ones, there are actually, 4 or 5 backgrounds that you can use. But if you wanted to do your own complete customization and structure, you've got some options. Some of my favorite tools include inserting tables. I love me a good table. So maybe you want just a 2-column chart. Obviously, the table by itself here is pretty boring, but we've got this spot for fill color where you can fill things in. Maybe I want to add like a bright color in, the heading spot. Maybe I want the boxes to be black rather than gray. Maybe I make them a bit thicker so they stand out. Let's actually make those bigger. Actually, I should have been selecting the whole table. Make it all black, and then 3x. Perfect. And then you have your headings, so maybe I type out agenda, and then bell work, or ballerina. You can customize the headings to what you wish. Increase the size. That's a little too big. Center. And then, you're free to type these things out. Maybe you insert a text box. So maybe this is for August 30th. I'll do Monday, August 30th. Again, customize it as you wish. Like to center that. Make that a little bigger. So again, you've got a lot of flexibility. You can insert images if you want, really anything. But that just shows you how you can use this slide as an extra, background and an editable option if you want it to still look cohesive with the other slides, but not necessarily have it be one of the exact other templates. So I think that's a good overview. I do recommend organizing it weekly, or if you don't wish to organize it weekly and you're more of a day-by-day basis kind of a thing, which, let's be real, I was very much last-minute kind of a teacher, especially the first couple years, you might want to just consider putting the most recent one on top and then having them work backwards. And also it's possible you don't want to use the weekly overview and you just want to have, the actual slide here. So long story short, you've got a lot of options in terms of how you set it up, but that is my sort of workflow for how I would put these together. And if you were to share this on Google Classroom, I would recommend just sharing the options so students can view it. Don't have it make a copy in students' drives because you'll probably keep making tweaks. And I know for myself, the beauty also of using a digital agenda is that it's so easy to edit at any point. So let's say you have a lesson in mind and you are teaching it to your first hour of the day and you realize there's a big flaw in the lesson or that it did not take as much time as you expect. You can adjust the agenda slides very quickly and it's ready for the future students, other classes you'll teach that day. That being said, I hope you found this to be a very helpful tutorial and walkthrough. I have all of these different agenda slide templates linked below for you, so check out whichever ones you think might be meaningful for your students. Once again, that includes our coffee shop theme, the plant theme, movie theme, travel themed, all the ancient civilizations templates, and the US history templates, in addition to this back to school option I showed today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember, you can check out some of our past videos here or subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!